Internet, Eric here. Today's my movie thoughts is per request. It is per request of a person who I found on YouTube through Facebook and Twitter. YouTube channel goes by the name of Scouse Mouse. I will put his link in the description below. Brief description of him: he does a lot of video game let's plays. I found him. We were in a Facebook group together. He was doing a playthrough of perhaps my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, Chrono Trigger. And I wanted to wait until he was done with all of his chapters, because he does like maybe 30 to 45 minute videos sometimes. So I went on his channel and saw like different playlists he did, and he's got a lot of stuff on his channel. He's done classic games like Earthworm Jim, Chrono Trigger, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. He's doing Bloodborne right now. He just did Celeste, Bendy and the Ink Machine. He does live streams like with GoldenEye and Super Metroid. Really, really cool channel. It is pretty much family friendly, which if you have children, you're probably not watching my channel. But he doesn't swear a lot. He does do horror games, but a lot of it is pretty clean. So it is. I watch his channel with my daughter. And he's a really cool guy, very interactive with his subscribers. He tries his best to at least respond to any comments. So Scouse Mouse is a really, really fun, cool, interactive YouTube channel if you like watching Let's Plays. And he and I would comment on his channel a lot. He found out I did have a YouTube channel, and he requested that I review or discuss, I believe he says it's his number one favorite movie. Today I'm talking American History X. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do discuss plot spoilers and specific scenes, so watch at your own risk. This came out in 1998, I believe. Basic plot is we are following Derek Vinyard and his younger brother Danny, played by Edward Norton and Edward Furlong. Derek is kind of like, he's like the right-hand man, the second in command of this skinhead white supremacist type group. The leader is played by Stacy Keach. And the movie starts out, and Danny, Edward Furlong, is in the principal's office because he wrote a paper on Mein Kampf, the Adolf Hitler stuff. And his teacher, or his principal, or is the guidance counselor, I don't know, I think it's the principal, says basically he's going to be expelled from school unless he writes a new paper, and it has to be on his brother Derek's incarceration. Derek is incarcerated for manslaughter of two black males who tried to break into his home, or not break into his home, they broke into his car. And basically it's 24 hours from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, and we learn all about Danny and Derek and the way they're looking at other races in life, and Derek's life in prison, and how Derek changes his ways, and then he sees that Danny is going down the same path, and he tries to stop it. That's it in a nutshell. I'm glad Scouse Mouse asked me to discuss this film, because this film is so powerful, so well done, so well directed, so well acted. There's so many good things about this film. First, we'll talk about the acting. Edward Norton nails it. He knocks it out of the park. You know, as cliche as that is, he is fantastic in this film. He's great in everything I see him in, no matter what the movie is. He does a great job of being this hate-filled person. You know, he hating blacks, hating Asians, Mexicans, it doesn't matter. You feel his rage. I mean, you see it on screen. You know, it's a violent film. But the thing is, he does such a good job with the way he talks to people to get them to believe in him, like any type of group leader would. he's got a charisma about him when he does those speeches. There's a scene where they go in, Derek and his group. Also, he's got Fairuza Balk from like The Waterboy and The Craft is his girlfriend, and Ethan Suplee from a lot of Kevin Smith films, Boy Meets World, The Butterfly Effect. My Name is Earl is basically his big buddy, and they're all together, and he is telling everybody they're about ready to go into a grocery store that was recently bought by a Korean family, and they're hiring a lot of illegal immigrants. And the speech he gives to get these people to realize what they're doing is good, going in and attacking these people and destroying all the groceries and what have you. You feel that charisma from him, and you can see why people would believe what he is saying with the way he handles himself. He's very political. He's very good with his words, passionate. And what's great about, he's not a typical villain, okay? But what I've always said in movies, what makes the best villain is they see what they're doing is right. And Derek believes 100% what he's doing is correct. And then eventually, we see through flashbacks, which is wonderfully done. I love how this movie goes from past to present by the use of black and white for the past and color for the present. He eventually, when he's in prison, he gets teamed up with a black inmate. They have to do the laundry together, and he knows they got to coexist. At first, he hates it, and eventually he becomes friends with this black inmate, and if not friends, he becomes friendly with him, and he sees the error of his ways, and he sees that, maybe he is wrong, and then you believe the way he changes his point of view. Especially when he gets out and he comes home and he's telling Danny all this stuff, everything that's happened to him, and you believe Edward Norton's performance when he's against Ethan Suplee and Stacy Keach and everybody. Fantastic performance. Edward Furlong as young Danny. I'm not a huge Edward Furlong fan. I think he's okay in Terminator 2, Pet Sematary 2. I haven't seen him in a lot. The Night of the Demons remake, he's okay. He's fantastic here. He's wonderful here. Once again, he is believing everything that he is taught. Young Danny is. I love the use of, like I said, the past and the present. You see past Danny, and you see he might not have necessarily ever believed everything, but he was taught. And just the emotions that go through Edward Furlong, and be it either he hates Derek for turning his back on the right ways or whatever or what have you. Fantastic performance. Edward Furlong, hands down, is great. Stacy Keach is great as being, I'm gonna go on and on. Stacy Keach is great as being, this leader, finding these young people and influencing them. Fairuza Balk is very dangerous in this film. She will do anything for Derek, but then when she realizes that Derek has changed his ways, she flips that switch and she goes in full crazy mode. Same with Ethan Suplee. He is such an unlikable character. Once you meet him, you're disgusted by him. But he also brings that danger to him. Strong performances all around. Beverly D'Angelo, everyone. So the acting is top notch. The score is so great. When it's dramatic moments, it really brings. Just scenes where, like, after Edward Furlong is raped in prison, just the score it's brutal. It's melancholy. When there's a scene where in the past where Norton and his group are challenging a group of blacks to a game of basketball for the rights to the basketball court forever, and when they're getting in each other's faces, and who is it? Tony Kaye, the director, the way he films it, like up close and personal, and cut shots and every this and that, you feel the intensity. You can tell that anything can happen at any moment. And then, since we're following, Derek and Stacy Keach's character, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Um, after they defeat the blacks in the basketball game for the rights to the court, there is this like orchestral like celebratory victory score, and it you don't want to like these white supremacists at all. And I'm not saying I do, but the way that the score is used in their victory, it's like these guys are heroes. And you see that because now they kick the blacks off this court, and they're now heroes to Stacy Keach, to Fairuza Balk, to all these people that believe this. So it's wonderfully used. This film is so brutal in a lot of just its imagery. When Derek, I said he was sent to prison for killing two people. The scene, it's a curb stomp scene, and you don't really see a lot of it. There's no blood and gore, but just the what's his name, Tony Kaye, the close-ups of him putting the gangbanger, Edward Norton putting the gangbanger, making him open his mouth, and you see the gangbangers open his mouth and the teeth go onto the curb, and we focus on that as it cuts to like Edward Furlong, screaming no, and then Derek does what he does. It's brutal. And then just the score when Derek's getting arrested. And that's another good thing about Edward Furlong is, he's starting to believe this stuff from Derek. But when he opens the door and he sees that Derek has already killed one of the gangbangers, and he sees what Derek's going to do to this other one, you can tell he can't believe what he's seen, and he doesn't really like it at all. So you get that torture in between, inside Edward Furlong. Is this what I really want? This is what could happen, type of thing. And again, it's the use of Edward Furlong and the score, and it's so intense. The use of the black and white. It's just a great scene. It's such a powerful film. And what I like about it, I'm not going to spoil it, but it doesn't end happy for a lot of people, just like real life. And it's that makes it more realistic, and that's what I like about it. And the thing is, we're following this group of skinheads, and the thing is, there's hate from all races, and I'll just leave it at that in this film, because there is a group of gangbangers that are following Danny because of an incident early on. A couple gangbangers are beating up a kid in the bathroom, played by Chris Masterson, Danny Masterson's brother, and Edward gets in the kid's face. The gangbanger's face just blows smoke. He's smoking cigarettes in the bathroom stalls, and showing that he's not afraid of them. And it builds up some tension because we see the gangbangers every now and then showing up. So great tension building. And you see, this film does such a great job showing that hate is taught. Because you see where you think you see where Edward Furlong initially gets it, and then you find out where he really got it. Danny's being taught this. All these people are being taught by Stacy Keach, and then they followed what Derek was saying, like I said, with his speeches and stuff. So it perfectly gets its point across that hate is taught to you. You learn it. You learn to hate. It's not, it doesn't come with you initially. So wonderful film. Trying to think what else. Like I said, I love the use of the black and white and the color, and it's cut perfectly. There's a scene where Derek is discussing the Rodney King. This is a powerful scene. Derek is discussing the Rodney King incident with Beverly D'Angelo, who plays his mother, and she's a widow. She's now dating this college professor, high school teacher, and he's Jewish, and of course opposing viewpoints. And Derek just loses it, and he goes off on the teacher, and he ends up hurting his sister in that, and then it gets Danny up, and Danny's fighting with Derek, and he throws Danny on the ground, and it's a perfect scene showing how dangerous Derek can be by believing these viewpoints. And Edward Norton does a fantastic job of just showing how dangerous Derek can be, and that scene took place right before he was incarcerated due to the manslaughter. So, just fantastic filmmaking, fantastic acting. I highly, highly recommend American History X. Damn near perfect movie. There is, like, I did some research. I guess Tony Kaye wasn't really happy with the initial cuts of the film, and there was some controversy with, I think it's New Line Cinema. Yeah, New Line Cinema, and there was reshoots done without his permission, and he sadly has disowned this film. He wanted his name taken off of it. He wanted to do, like, the Alan Smithy thing, and it's sad that he wants his name just because of just studio involvement. I guess Edward Norton was involved in some of the recuts, because behind the scenes, Edward Norton's kind of pretty hard to get along with, which it's sad because he's such a great actor. But all that aside, American History X is a fantastic film. Performances from everyone is strong. I love the relationship in prison with Derek and this black inmate, because Derek does not want to be doing laundry with this black guy, but eventually the inmate wins him over. Like, he's making a sex joke and impersonating a woman having sex and reaching orgasm, and Derek does not want to laugh, but finally he cracks that smile. He falls down, like, on the table laughing, and you're like, boom, that's Derek's turning point. But there's so much more to this film. But like I said, fantastic directing, fantastic acting from everyone, the score, the intensity, the shots, everything is perfect in this film. The message is great. It's a story of, I don't know if redemption, but just changing viewpoints, knowing where Derek knew where he was wrong, and he knew that, he's trying to save his brother from going down the wrong path that he has lived. Wow. So, in the end, I babbled enough. Scouse Mouse, awesome. Thank you for suggesting I talk about this film, because I haven't seen it in probably over a year, and this is one of these films where I will watch. I'll pop it in because I want a good drama, and that's exactly what it is. It's a good drama all around from every single person involved. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment below, click the bell, share, don't. Check out Scouse Mouse. I will put the link in his channel below. He's got playlists on everything from different games, from horror games, from action games, Mario Kart games. It's a fun, interactive channel, and he does do requests. So Scouse, I am putting you on notice. I don't know how far in advance you choose your video games to play, but I will say this. I know I have asked for Maniac Mansion on the NES. It is a problem-solving game. I know you don't do those very well, which is fine. So if you don't do Maniac Mansion, I would like to throw out Eternal Darkness for the GameCube. However, I will say this: when you get the choice of colors, I want you to pick green. You'll know what I mean. I would like you to do Earthworm Jim 2 because I loved your Earthworm Jim 1 playthrough. Or Resident Evil 2. So there you go, bud. Once again, thank you for having me discuss this. I understand why this could be your favorite film because it's damn near perfect. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out Scouse Mouse. Cheers, and hate is baggage.